Jonathan and Jennifer Hart are back in the long-awaited and much celebrated reunion of television's favorite couple. Coming this fall in a whole new series of 2-hour movies, Heart to Heart.
Remember that? Welcome back. Well, believe it or not, it was a decade ago when that show, Heart to Heart, was a Sunday night institution for millions of us. Well, it's back. A new series starts in the autumn, and Jennifer Hart, alias Stefanie Powers, joins us now. Stefanie, you were enjoying watching those old clips there, weren't you?
Well, it brings back a lot of memories, as you can well imagine. When the series was cancelled, we were very, very hurt because they'd never alluded to us that we were going to be cancelled. In fact, I was in Paris and I was doing a mini-series called Mistral's Daughter, and I got a telephone call at 11 o'clock on a Sunday night from Robert Wagner and the producers, because on the Monday they were announcing the lineup for the fall shows on ABC, and they said we weren't on it, which was a huge shock. We all burst into tears, thousands of miles away from each other. And we'd wanted to come back in some form, but not in just a one movie for television form, say hello, goodbye, and then be gone. And so just to put an end to the period at the end of the sentence. And when NBC decided that they wanted to do what they called a mystery wheel, where we would be on, we would do 6 2-hour movies within a certain time frame. And then we would be on, we'd be publicized from time to time to be on the network, and one could sort of look forward, hopefully, to seeing us.
So it's coming back.
Do you get on as well with Robert Wagner? Wagner. Sorry about Wagner. It was the early mornings. Do you get on as well with him in real life as you obviously do on screen?
Yes, actually. It's an amazing chemistry. I don't know what it is, and I don't want to ask what it is. If I knew what it was, I'd be bottling it and selling it to everybody. We have this remarkable way of playing tennis with each other. You know, he hits the ball, I hit it back, he hits it to me again. It's a very interesting...
They weren't just glamorous, they were very sassy and witty and kind of sarcastic and funny all the time, weren't they, that couple?
Well, do you ever remember seeing an old series of films that were made in the good old days of Hollywood called The Thin Man? It was Myrna Loy and
William Powell.
William Powell.
And they were a very glamorous socialite pair, and they did, I suppose, yes, they were heart to heart.
Well, this was roughly based on that sort of rapport, and they had a rather acerbic rapport between the two of them.
I suppose it was sort of captured a bit later, possibly with Moonlighting, in a sort of funny sort of way.
Yes, it kind of, there were 2 other shows as well. Stephanie Zimbalist did one with Pierce Brosnan.
Remington Steele.
Remington Steele, and that was sort of a similar situation.
Because I think Heart to Heart, we had the 70s, we had the gritty cop shows, we had Cannon, we had Kojak, and it was all very kind of back streets and gritty. Then suddenly at the end of the 70s, along came Heart to Heart, Dallas, Dynasty, and the glamour came back. Were you at the forefront of that, do you think?
You know, if you watch the shows, interestingly enough, people seem to think that we were part of the sort of the glitz mobiles, but we weren't. He was a self-made millionaire. The American dream, only in America could a man rise from being an orphan selling papers on the street to becoming a mega millionaire. That aspect of Jonathan Hart is actually what we've brought back in the 90s to show a little bit more about the background of him.
The starving kid behind the millionaire.
It is.
Unfortunately, although 2 of the fabulous ingredients, you and Robert, are there, Max the butler, who was a lovely character...
Oh, no, he's there.
Is he there?
Oh, he's there, absolutely.
Oh, really?
Lionel Stander, he's 85 years old, but he's absolutely brilliant.
Oh,
the
wow.
only one that's not there is the dog.
It's the dog.
But we've got Dog Mark
we've
too,
got
though.
Freeway Junior.
Because, I mean, there was about 95 different lassies, so you're allowed 2 freeways after all.
Well, this is Freeway Junior, poor old Freeway. He was, you know, he was an old boy when we were doing the show. He would have been the oldest dog in history if we still had it.
Jennifer Hart is, in some ways, a bit... I mean, you're terribly glamorous, and, you know, you are. And you play one of the most glamorous sports, polo, for example. I mean, is that what you're doing at the moment? You're playing polo over here?
Well, you know, the interesting thing about polo is that I think people think of the glamorous aspect of polo because they think it's because of what it's surrounded with.
Well, Julie Cooper wrote a very steamy novel about it.
Yes, which was a commercialized version of what it is. But yesterday I played It was just a bunch of people in shorts and dogs and kids running around. The way that I was introduced to polo as a sort of farm game and a bunch of people getting together on horses and having a wonderful time.
Just folks knocking around.
You've played with on an elephant,
And
haven't
the
you?
question is, how do you play polo on an elephant?
With a very long stick. And it's a big ball, you know, but there are rules. There are rules to the game. They have extraordinarily good rules. Elephants cannot stand on the ball. This is a very important rule.
I'm sure, or even
Do you
any
mean
of the
like,
players.
like they do? I mean all 4 feet on one animal?
I love that rule. When I went to play, there was a rule, sort of piece of paper of rules, and it said elephants cannot stand on the ball. I thought that was really a very interesting
Now, was there some reason, God knows, that you were playing on an elephant at any stage? Was it a charity do, or did people play it?
It was a charity thing, and also I wanted to go to Nepal, and my mother wanted to go to Nepal. My mother wound up with a diamond in her nose after that trip. At 70,
How old was your mother then?
She was 78 years old. She disappeared and came back with a diamond in her nose, much to everyone else's shock, but she's a big hit with the teenagers, you know. It's quite a big one, too. You know, it's no small thing for her.
Unfortunately, we just started on the story of the trip to Nepal when the time, unfortunately, Stefanie has run out. Thanks so much for joining us, and good luck with Heart to Heart.
We're going to be on London Weekend Television in the fall, so I hope everyone enjoys
We certainly will.
re-seeing Heart to Heart.
I'll definitely
Thank you.
get tuned in.
Thank you.
Thank you.